Item 10B, authorize the mayor to execute a letter to the San Mateo County Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, supporting the San Mateo County Mosquito and Vector Control District in the Sphere of Influence Review.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. I've just distributed a updated version of the letter that is in front of you tonight for consideration to LAFCO relative to the item that Mr. Reichel addressed in his public comment having to do with the Mosquito and Vector Control District in their sphere of influence and municipal service review through LAFCO. As you probably know, although the city has had very limited interaction with the agency that's known as LAFCO, the Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO is the agency that is responsible in this county and in all other counties throughout the state of California for review and action on matters having to do with jurisdictional boundaries of municipalities, counties, and special districts within the counties. And those matters include incorporations, annexations, consolidations, dissolutions, and the like. As part of its regular responsibility, LAFCO adopts spheres of influence as the plans for the probable boundaries of cities and special districts. And in the fulfillment of its responsibility, LAFCO in this county and others is responsible for completing periodic municipal service reviews of the agencies within its within the county. LAFCO has taken up a municipal service review and a sphere of influence review for the San Mateo County Mosquito and Vector Control District. LAFCO has generated a review report that is quite thorough in its analysis of many aspects of the district's operations, and it has set a public hearing for July 18th to consider the proposed determinations that review report contained. The Municipal Service Review itself is an analysis of the public services in which certain determinations are made in several areas, including the planned and present capacity of the public facilities and adequacy of public services, the financial ability of the agency to provide its required services, its accountability for community service needs, its governmental structure, and its operational efficiencies. In this particular case, the LAFCO review has determined that the Mosquito and Vector Control District is effectively providing mosquito and vector control services that best meet the needs, the public health and safety needs of San Mateo County residents. The review notes in some detail that the law that allowed the formation of mosquito and vector control districts specifies, and this is in state law, that the board be comprised of a voter/resident of each city in the county and one appointed by the County Board of Supervisors. So in the case of San Mateo County, the statute requires that the board be comprised of 21 members, one each from the 20 cities and one appointed by the Board of Supervisors. The LAFCO review has considered this feature of law and has presented a proposed determination that the governance structure and the size of the board, again in our case 21 members, and the method of appointment by individual city councils constrains the accountability, the visibility, and responsiveness that the district can provide to the health and safety needs of the public, compared, for example, to that which is provided by a directly elected County Board of Supervisors, city council or a directly elected special district board. The review further concludes that the district's administration and governing board duplicate administration and governance that could be provided by the County of San Mateo in the same way that the county currently provides other county environmental health programs. In response to this review, as I indicated and as Mr. Reichel indicated earlier, the district is seeking support from cities who are represented on the Mosquito and Vector Control District Board in this process to weigh in with respect to our own observations about the district's accountability, the district's service, and the district's governance. I would note that as identified in the review report, that in addition to the normal periodic municipal service review function that LAFCO provides, this particular review was undertaken, at least in part, in response to concerns that have arisen related to the alleged embezzlement issue which occurred in the district's finance operations earlier this year, or rather that was identified a number of months ago, that occurred over a prior couple of years. Again, the report identifies that the district is performing successfully and effectively in meeting its charge to, among other things, take actions to prevent the spread of West Nile virus, as well as to generally protect the public health and safety related to mosquito-borne diseases. In the area of accountability, as I've indicated, the report indicates that there are concerns about the statutory governance structure that is in effect, and its accessibility and accountability to members of the public. And in the area of response to the alleged embezzlement, the report does identify that the district has taken and is continuing to take the necessary and effective actions that were recommended by outside special expert advisors, and has taken the situation seriously and responded appropriately. I would also note for the Council's consideration that a previous municipal service review of the Mosquito and Vector Control District occurred in 2003. And at that time, as you may recall, the district's boundaries did not cover the entire county of San Mateo, but terminated at the northern end of the county at the northern limits of the city of Millbrae. That review resulted in a determination that, in fact, the boundaries of the district should be expanded to cover the entire territory of San Mateo County, including the city of San Bruno and those to the north of us. And that determination was, in fact, implemented, and our city and the others have been part of the district for these number of years since 2003. Again, the LAFCO board will hold a public hearing on the proposed determinations that are outlined in the review report on July 18th. And again, the district is seeking comment and support by cities that are part of the district on the proposed determinations and actions that might result from the LAFCO board accepting the review report and its determinations. And specifically, as again Mr. Reichel indicated, among those determinations are actions that would lead potentially to the dissolution of the district and the absorption of the current responsibilities and funds now flowing to the district for its operations, the transfer of those to the County of San Mateo, presumably to the Environmental Health Department. You have before you a letter that was suggested by the district with some modifications that I made to better address this city's particular perspective. It's in front of you tonight with a recommendation that you consider it, that you consider authorizing the mayor to execute that letter on behalf of the entire city council. And before I turn it over to your questions, I would just note for the record that district board members are seeking this support from throughout the county, but at this time, with a little bit of research, staff is not aware of the status of any other city's action other than that of the city of San Carlos, which has taken took an early action and is continuing to take action to support the LAFCO position. So at this time, I do not have information that would allow me to advise you about what other cities are doing based on requests that they are receiving from the district. So with that, I would be happy to answer your questions and note that Mr. Rico and Mr. Gay are in the audience, and I'm sure they would be happy to take any questions directed to them as well.
Any questions of staff or members of the district?
It's very complicated to me, but I think reading I believe it was the consultant, the private consultant that wrote the lengthy letter in response to the LAFCO study. This is all a result of the embezzlement. Is that something that we can all that is clear? Is that this is not necessarily something that LAFCO has decided they're going to review, or for some other reason to scrutinize the district? But this is because namely San Carlos asked for the grand jury to study it, and then as a result of the embezzlement. It has not. I mean, there has not been any criticism that we know of to the performance of the district as far as their task in dealing with health and safety in the county.
I'll answer the question to the best of my knowledge, and then perhaps Mr. Rico or Mr. Gay could elaborate. LAFCO does have the authority and the jurisdiction to call for a municipal service review. It would not be unusual for the LAFCO to do so without an incident or other encouragement. So it's difficult to say whether this particular review was prompted primarily by the alleged embezzlement or whether it was time. The report, I believe, is clear in its preamble that among the reasons that the municipal service review was undertaken were the concerns that related from the incident. There is nothing in my understanding or experience or exposure to the district, nor that I'm aware of from previous city involvement with the district, that would suggest any concerns that we have. And in fact, as I indicated in the written report but did not say in the oral report tonight, Mr. Rico, I believe, has been a particularly effective representative for you as the City Council and for our community as a whole, in that he takes these responsibilities very seriously. He is very aggressive in providing information both to you, to staff, as well as making that available and encouraging us to make it available to members of the public generally, just as he did tonight, about the activities of the district and its presence in and around San Bruno. So I would say the answer, there was a long-winded way of saying yes to your question. We are not aware of any particular issues or concerns in terms of the district's performance of its basic responsibilities. And in fact, I would go further to say that this city, I think, has been particularly well served by the district.
Mr. Gay?
I think that was I think that was stated very well. You're correct. Initially, the first report by LAFCO in May was about the embezzlement. And we went through a great deal of education of LAFCO, showing them all of the activities that the district has taken. We went through a lengthy investigation by the District Attorney's Office, the San Mateo County Sheriff's Investigative Office, of the staff and the embezzlement. We had a forensic audit that was done by C.G. Eulenberg for the entire period that the two individuals were on board. Those two individuals are now in jail. They've gone through the pretrial hearing, and the rest of it will start occurring here pretty quickly. The district has made all the corrective actions that were suggested by Dr. Peter Hughes, who's, as you well know, Director of Internal Audits for the Orange County, and he was recommended, of course, by the Controller's Office, Bob Adler. The district has made auditorial changes of the auditor. They've made changes to the policies, built internal control manuals. I mean, everything has been corrected. With that being stated, LAFCO then changed gears with their final report that they just put out, and now it has basically nothing to do with the embezzlement that occurred. It now has to do with the structure of the board that they're attacking. And it does conflict with everything LAFCO stated in their 2003 Sphere of Influence Municipal Service Review, as you well know, that we've gone through. So we're kind of at a loss on why they're making this recommendation of dissolving the district. Your district has been killing mosquitoes for 108 years. We've been doing this. We do it incredibly well. Our facilities are state-of-the-art, and maybe that's the problem. We operate in the black. We have a reserve account that allows us to address emergencies that are going on in the county. And maybe because we do have a small reserve, maybe that's why the county's looking at dissolving the district. We honestly do not know why the county has taken this position of our large board. It's mandated by state law. There's nothing we can do about our board and the size of our board. We're meeting with all the LAFCO commissioners and all of our legislators. On our board is an incredibly effective board. One of our best members is standing right here, Robert Rieckel. He is active on our finance committee. He's chair of our policy committee. He's been the one that has been redrafting policies for the district. He's the one that helped with the selecting of the new auditor for the district. We have Dr. Scott Smith. He's an infectious disease doctor from Stanford University. We have veterinarians on our board that allow us to get into the veterinary community to do all the work with diseases associated with animals. We have other board members that are involved with, Foster City, Rick Wyckoff. As you know, Rick Wyckoff is on our board. Donna Rutherford, another prior council member from East Palo Alto, is on our board. We have an excellent board, which we've been trying to explain to LAFCO that dissolving our board is not going to give you better governance. If you take this program and you dissolve it and you move it into the county, it will dissolve and go away. The reason why we know that is because the County Environmental Health dissolved their vector program and gave it to us.
On two separate occasions.
Yes. So we know that this program, if it goes to the county, it will be gone, and you'll never have a district again in the future. So that's what has us concerned, and we're looking right now because I have basically 105 city council members that have direct access to this district. You have one trustee, one person between yourselves and our district, and we will provide, and we're providing an incredible service for all the cities right now. And if it goes to the county, you will not have that access any longer to your district. And I think that's a big concern for us as a district because of all the efforts we put in. Right now we have positive West Nile virus on the border of Redwood City and Woodside, which has us very concerned. So, and we have increased levels of Lyme disease. And we know we have increased levels of hantavirus and plague right here on San Bruno Mountain. So we have a lot of activity that's going on, and we feel like all of this LAFCO experience that we're going through is taking time away from what we should be doing. So we're looking to the cities that if you want to continue with this program with the way it is, we really need everybody to step up to the plate and support it. And we really thank your city for the work that you're doing in this effort. And we're happy to answer any questions at any time. And I know Robert Rico is reporting to you on a routine basis.
Thank you very much. I just speak as the mayor, saying that I know you as a board have had challenges, and that goes along with the territory. But you've addressed them and continue to address them. But I think any challenges the county has in absorbing this far outweigh anything you can accomplish. So I would ask this city council to give me permission and authorize me to sign this letter in support of the district. Why don't you make it?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to sign the letter as presented on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
And thank you. And Robert, thank you for all your efforts.
Yes.
You represent and help the city a lot.